Hello, everyone. It's M's Experience here with another podcast. This time, I'm going to be talking about my favorite book that I have been reading and other books that I have been wanting to read. The most recent book that I have been reading is called Everything Everything. You guys may have heard of it because it was also a movie. Now, I don't know about you guys out there, but I prefer the book much more than the movie, and I will tell you why. Mainly because the movie just seems very staged and not flowy. It's almost like they're not acting like themselves, like they're not being themselves. Like a movie or book originally should be. I've never read chapter books before, so I don't really have a favorite book or author. However, with the audiobook, which is basically a person behind the mic, reading the book itself, but you can have assistance, and with me, that's very helpful. With audiobooks, I feel like I can engage with the author and have assistance if I may need any. Right now, I really want to read more books and maybe join a few book clubs. I don't know. My favorite books are not necessarily adult books, but anyone can read any kind of books. There's no law that says you have to read one kind of book. My favorite books are the Junie B. Jones series. The second one is the Twilight series. I would like to read more of those books because I am a rare person, and I personally, out of all of the characters on Twilight, I am personally a Team Carlisle, Edward's dad, and Team Jasper fan. So I'm not a fan of Team Edward or Team Jacob. I'm kind of rare in that case. I'd also like to read more of The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I haven't read the whole Twilight series or the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series either, but I have read the Junie B. Jones series. My favorite authors would have to be Stephenie Meyers and from the Twilight series, and Jeff Kinney from the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. I don't know a lot about those authors, but when I was younger, there was a religious author named Max Lucado who was my favorite. I mean, he created Max Lucado, Hermie and Friends, and a lot of religious movies with those creatures in it, like Flo the Lionfly, which was my personal childhood favorite. And one thing I would like to talk to you guys about are my favorite podcasts. The first author of this podcast was also a famous fashion designer. You guys out there may know her. Her name was Betsey Johnson. I've listened to a little bit of her book, which is also a podcast. You can find it on Audible, you can find it on Kindle, you can find it anywhere that they sell or have audiobooks. And Betsey Johnson is actually very inspiring to me personally. Her books and her herself has inspired me to make myself stand out, not only with my fashion, but everything else in life. The other person who has a really awesome podcast is Glennon Doyle. She actually has a lot to say. Not only that, but she has a ton of good points too, which is what I like about her. She has talked about her kids and her view on the world. Now, I'm not going to go into her personal life, like her marriage and all that, because it's not my place to tell her story. However, I very strongly recommend listening to her podcast. Her books are amazing too. I've read some of her book, Untamed, and it's unbelievably amazing. But that was in the past, though. Right now, I am reading a book called The Revenge Game. It's pretty good, although I am 83 pages into it, and it has 300 pages, excuse me. The kinds of books I am into right now are a cross between comics about the LGBT community and their everyday lives and their lives that have or have had romance and romance in general. For example, the comic I am reading right now is about the LGBT community, and it is called Heartstopper. It is about two guys that fall in love with each other. This comic is more my style because I don't know about you guys, but I prefer teen romance, and that's what Heartstopper has in it. And they're also trying to figure out how to place themselves in this world. And they also are dealing with when they have times where somebody likes the other person more than a friend, like in Heartstopper, but they're getting made fun of at school and in life in general. You guys may have heard of that book because it's very popular, but the series is really good. I am currently on the fourth book of the whole, the third book of the whole series. And there's a total of 4 books in the whole series. In addition to Heartstopper, I am also reading a comic that has a very interesting title. The second comic I am reading is called Be That Way. Be That Way. I don't necessarily understand what the book is about yet from reading it. However, I am very interested to see where it goes. I've read quite a few books. I've read quite a few books and comics in the past month, and I didn't think I'd like reading, but it is a lot more fun than watching movies, in my opinion. And I hope you guys liked this episode. And if you have any ideas or suggestions for another book I should read or look into, please leave a comment down below. If you guys have any books that are your personal favorite and would like to share about it a little bit, again, leave a comment down below and I'd be happy to respond and know more about it. There will be more podcasts down the road of this journey, so please stay tuned. And thank you all so much for coming to listen to my podcast. I love you all, and feel free to go to my Instagram page, which is called M's Experience. Have a good day. Bye.